If you've ever looked around your life and thought, how did I end up here? Then stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some people recover from divorce, failure, redundancy, heartbreak, and completely rebuild their lives, while others stay trapped in exactly the same place for years. And here's the strange thing, the answer isn't confidence, it isn't motivation, and it definitely isn't mental toughness. In fact, most people spend years focusing on the wrong thing. Let me tell you something, once I understood this, everything started to change. Maybe you've felt it yourself. You wake up thinking about it. You go to bed thinking about it. You replay conversations, mistakes, decisions, things you wish you'd done differently. And while everyone else seems to be moving forward, you're standing in the same place, wondering what the hell is wrong with you. Most people think they're stuck because of what happened, the divorce, the breakup, the betrayal, the redundancy, the thing they lost. And for years, that's exactly what I believed too. I thought my circumstances were the problem. I thought my past was the problem. I thought if life had simply gone differently, I'd be okay. But here's the question nobody asks. If the event is keeping you stuck, then why do two people go through the same thing, yet one recovers and the other doesn't? Why do some people rebuild while others stay trapped inside the story forever? And that's the question that changed everything for me. Because once I started looking for the answer, I realized resilience had nothing to do with being tougher than everyone else. The truth was something completely different. But before I tell you what it was, you need to understand how I ended up discovering it. The day I discovered this lesson, I was living in a barn, not a metaphorical barn, not one of those motivational stories where someone says they hit rock bottom, an actual barn in Wales, cold walls, exposed beams, a camp bed, a couple of bags containing what was left of my life, and far too much time alone with my own thoughts. After my second divorce, everything I'd built felt like it had collapsed. The house was gone, the marriage was gone, the future I thought I was building was gone, and every morning I'd wake up asking the same question, why? Why did this happen? Why am I here? Why does life keep ending up like this? And buddy, that's where most people get trapped. They spend years asking questions that have no future in them. Why me? Why did they leave? Why did I lose the job? Why didn't life work out the way I planned? And every time you ask those questions, your attention gets dragged backwards. And in that barn, I started replaying my entire life. I remembered being 17 years old with a company car, selling houses, thinking I'd figured life out. Then the market collapsed. Everything changed. Back then, I blamed the economy, the timing, bad luck, everyone except myself. And I remembered all the other versions of me, the DJ, the husband, the employee, the bloke trying to hold everything together. Different chapters, different situations, yet somehow the same emotional pattern kept appearing. And that's when I realized something. The circumstances kept changing, but I didn't. Different problems, same thinking, different setbacks, same reactions, different losses, same questions. My friend, that realization hit me harder than any divorce, any redundancy, or any setback ever had, because for the first time, I stopped asking what had happened to me and started asking what I was doing with it. And that question changed everything, because the answer I'd spent years searching for wasn't hiding in my past. It wasn't hiding in the divorce. It wasn't hiding in the mistakes. It wasn't hiding in the people I'd blamed. The answer was hiding in a question I hadn't been asking. And in part 2, I'm going to show you exactly what that question was, why it changes everything, and how resilient people rebuild their lives one small promise at a time. If you've made it this far, I want you to do one thing. Comment below with the question you've been asking yourself lately. Is it, why me? Or is it, what's next? Because in part 2, we're going to discover why one of those questions keeps you trapped and the other one changes your life forever. For years, I thought resilience was something other people had. I thought resilient people were somehow different, stronger, smarter, tougher, more confident. But sitting in that barn, I started noticing something. The people who rebuilt their lives weren't necessarily stronger than everyone else. They simply asked better questions. Ask why me, and your mind searches for blame. Ask what's next, and your mind starts searching for solutions. One question keeps you trapped in the past. The other starts building your future. And my friend, that tiny shift changed the direction of my entire life. Because when I look back over my life, every setback had something in common. Different circumstances, different people, different problems. Yet every recovery started exactly the same way. The moment I stopped focusing on what I'd lost and started focusing on what I could do next. Let me tell you something. This is where most people make a mistake. They think rebuilding starts with confidence. It doesn't. They think it starts with motivation. It doesn't. Rebuilding starts with a promise. One small promise to yourself, and then keeping it. Promise doesn't have to be dramatic. It might be a 10-minute walk. It might be getting out of bed on time. It might be reading one chapter of a book. Size of the promise isn't what matters. Keeping it is what matters. Here's what I eventually realized. Every promise you keep creates evidence. Evidence creates self-trust. Self-trust creates confidence. And confidence creates resilience. People are waiting to feel confident before they act. The truth is, confidence is the reward for action, not the requirement. Maybe that's where you are right now, waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for certainty. Buddy, life doesn't work like that. Nobody feels ready when they're rebuilding. Nobody feels certain when they're starting over. The people who recover simply move before they feel ready. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that pain means something has gone wrong. Sometimes pain is simply life teaching us something. Sometimes it's life stripping away the things that no longer belong in our future. Difficult seasons don't arrive to destroy you. They arrive to reveal you. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you train, just like a muscle. Every difficult conversation, every promise kept, every setback survived. Every day you keep moving when you'd rather quit. That's the training ground. And here's what finally hit me. The barn wasn't the problem. The divorce wasn't the problem. The redundancy wasn't the problem. The problem was that I'd spent years believing my circumstances were controlling my future. The moment I took responsibility for my next step, everything changed. That's the shift. That's what resilient people do differently. They don't spend forever asking why it happened. They ask what's next. They don't stay trapped in the story. They become the author of the next chapter. So if life has knocked you down recently, let me tell you something. You don't need to rebuild your entire life this week. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need confidence. What you need is the next step. One promise, one action, one decision to keep moving. Because the rebuild doesn't happen all at once. It happens one promise at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time. Maybe that's the real lesson from all of this. Life will knock you down. It will surprise you. It will break plans you thought were guaranteed. But your future is never decided by what happened to you. It's decided by what you do next. So here's what I want you to do. Don't tell me your 5-year plan. Don't tell me what you're going to do someday. Tell me your next step. One thing, one promise, one action. Leave it in the comments below. Because the rebuild starts there. And if you're ready for the next stage of rebuilding your life, watch the next video on screen now. I'll see you there, buddy.